Shalom friends, and welcome back to Hebrew Gems. I'm Reuven Doron on behalf of Sar-El Academy and Sar-El Tours and Conferences. What a joy to have you join us again here in Jerusalem on this beautiful day, searching for the Hebrew treasures, the Hebrew gems. And we are looking through Psalm 91, God's nuclear shelter, as it were, His ultimate defense for the believer. And we read in verse 5, one of God's awesome promises, that He says, "You shall not be afraid." And He goes on with a whole list of things that we should not be afraid of. He says, "I will deliver you from fear, to terror and arrows and pestilence and destruction and all manner of nasty, bad things." God says the opening line is that don't be afraid. Not just afraid of these things, but fear itself renders us vulnerable to sickness, to disease, to infection. Fear is unhealthy for the human mind and body. The Hebrew word, which is our Hebrew gem for today, is al-tirah. The Hebrew root for the word tirah, fear, is spelled Yud Reish Aleph, Yirah, Yud Reish Aleph. And it is an amazing word. It appears first time in Genesis chapter 3 when Adam is actually walking away from the graces of God way back in the garden. And he says, "I was afraid because I heard your voice calling me in the trees. I hid myself among the trees of the garden." Fear enters the heart of Adam and his wife right from the beginning. And it was the beginning of our troubles. It says in the scriptures that when the New Jerusalem descends from heaven, when the beautiful display of the bride of God, the heavenly Jerusalem is coming down to earth. It says there's a list in the last chapter of the book of Revelation of those who will not enter the city. The first one of that list is those who are afraid. Fear will remain a major menace, a major enemy of the human soul. It started in the garden and it will be there at the end of the book. But it's not your lot. It's not my lot. He says in Psalm 91 verse 5, "Do not fear. You have got nothing to be afraid of, because I am with you, saith the Lord." Yara, fear, is your Hebrew gem for today. And we'll talk again tomorrow.